Welcome. Today, we're diving into a really candid and personal story about what it's like to grow up when it feels like everyone is watching you. We're going to explore the hidden pressures of being a pastor's child, and honestly, what that whole experience can teach all of us about expectations. We're starting with this incredibly powerful admission from Uchechukwu Miracle, whose conversation is the basis for this explainer. She says that being a PK, a pastor's kid, is one of the hardest things you can go through. Let's really unpack why that is. So what does that life actually feel like? Well, Uchechukwu puts it perfectly. She says it's like living in a glass house, where every single move you make is seen and judged. Right. You get this label, PK, and it's not just a cute little nickname. It comes with this heavy weight of unspoken assumptions from literally everyone in the community.
And that right there, that's the core of the challenge. This huge, unspoken pressure to live up to some kind of perfect ideal that only exists in other people's minds. Okay, let's get into this. Uchechukwu was asked this exact question, and she shared this one story that just perfectly captures how intense that scrutiny can be. Oh, all the time. I remember this one time. I came late to our Wednesday Bible study, and as I walked in, this group of elderly women just gave me this whole side-eye look. You know the one. And after the service, one of them actually called me aside and was like, you're the pastor's daughter. You're not supposed to be coming late. People are looking up to you. I was so annoyed. I just looked at her and said, tell them to look up to God. Because that's the thing. As a pastor's daughter, you feel like you can't even breathe without someone commenting on how you're doing it. And it is absolutely draining. Wow, you can just feel the frustration in that story. And that constant pressure, it creates this huge gap between the perfect stereotype people have in their heads and the messy reality of just trying to live your life. It's like this. On one side, you have this impossible image people project onto you. You're supposed to be holier than thou, a mummy Jesus, just flawless. But the real experience, it's more like you're just learning on the job. You're just trying to live, and there is no manual for any of this. Exactly. So to cope with it all, I had this go-to response. Whenever people would come to me with all their advice, I just tell them, nah, bid me God call, not my papa. It means God didn't call me, he called my father. It was my way of setting a boundary, My father's calling is his. It's not automatically my identity. So that really begs the question, right? How do you find your own faith when you're so busy playing a part for everyone else? It seems like it really requires a huge shift in perspective. It really was. For a long time, trying to live up to those expectations was just so hard, and it had a cost. Honestly, I didn't get to know God like I should have. The biggest challenge was that I was more focused on being the good pastor's daughter than I was on just being a child of God. The real turning point for me was realizing that if you want to seek God, you have to strip away all those titles. Don't go to him as a pastor's daughter. Go to him as you are, as one who is broken and needs to be filled. He'll fill you, he'll direct you, and he will help you figure it all out. That is such powerful advice. And, it's not just for other pastors' kids, is it? It's really for anyone out there who feels trapped by the expectations of others. So, what are the practical steps? How do you move forward? Well, here's what I would say. First, you have to intentionally seek God. Pray, study your Bible. Then you need to really hunger for that intimacy with him. And you have to be intentional with your circle. Cut away from friends who are not going in the same direction. Don't let peer pressure lead you. And finally, serve God. Because for me, outside Jesus, there's no life. And that really brings it all full circle. Back to that story you told earlier. It's the key takeaway, isn't it? Placing these impossible expectations on other people is just a recipe for disappointment. The real focus, it needs to be somewhere else entirely. So we want to leave you with this final thought. As you reflect on this conversation, take a moment and ask yourself, whose expectations are shaping your story? Is the life you're living truly your own, or is it one that's been designed by the people